Peter McKinnon released a freaking weird camera bag with Nomatic. The 21-liter cube pack is kind of equal parts genius and completely useless, which makes it absolutely perfect for one particular application that I'll talk about in a minute. This pack is unique to say the least. It's designed to be sort of a normal regular camera cube where you can organize your gear and give it a little bit of protection. But when you pull this zipper, you release what is not only an expansion that pretty much quadruples the size of the bag, it also turns it into a backpack. When the pack is expanded, these shoulder straps need to be attached into these little loops on the bottom of the camera cube, and from there it works like you'd expect. You put it on your back. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with how thorough the design of this expanded portion is. Now, it's not without its flaws, we'll talk about that later, but the straps are nice and wide, which stops them from digging into your shoulders and makes the whole bag far more comfortable than something like a drawstring bag. There's also an included chest strap and a good amount of padding built into the lower back portion of the bag, because this is actually what's used as the lid for the camera cube when it's collapsed. The main bag compartment is mostly just a hollow shell, but there is a thin elastic zipper pocket that is perfect for storing things like your keys or your passport to avoid them getting lost in the larger compartment of the bag. The main zipper spans the entire length of the compartment, which is good for packing. It gives you a lot of access and flexibility with how you're putting stuff in there, but it also makes it kind of susceptible to pickpocketers. You can avoid this issue though by linking together the two zippers using the cords that are attached to them. To fold it all away again, simply detach the shoulder straps and kind of roll it all together into that compartment. Then close the lid and pull the zipper shut. Boom, you're back to the camera cube. Overall, it's a really simple process, and I am very impressed by how thin this lid compartment actually gets, even once the whole thing is kind of smushed in there. The pack holds up to all of this collapsing and expanding because it's made with really high quality materials. The camera cube itself has some nice rigidity to protect your gear, but just like all of Nomatic's other camera bags, the interior dividers are nice and soft and they won't scratch any of your gear. The zippers are all very smooth, and all of the other clips are designed with the same quality as all of Nomatic's other products, which is good. The shoulder straps and lower back portion of the bag are both covered with this very breathable mesh, which is an awesome thing because these are sort of the areas that get hot and sweaty in the summer heat. And the main bag material is incredibly thin, but very, very tough. They also say that it's water resistant, but we're gonna test that. There's like a little bit of water beating through, but nothing too bad. Ignore the clothes. I had to put something in there. Definitely not waterproof, but I think water resistant is fair. So far, this bag seems pretty great, right? Well, there are some downsides, and I bet you can tell I'm about to tell you about them because of my choice in music. Sound is by far the most powerful way to convey emotion in your videos, and emotion is what moves audiences. That's why it's so important to have access to incredible music, and why I soundtrack my projects with Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound has tens of thousands of songs and sound effects composed by world-class artists. Artists that know how to convey the feeling that you want to give your audience, whether that's fear or power, excitement, joy, you name it. The site also links to your YouTube channel and provides you with customized recommendations for songs to download based on the content you create and your previous downloads. The best part is you can soundtrack your next video with Epidemic Sound and not worry at all about receiving a copyright claim, because Epidemic Sound's assets are all restriction free. And by going through the link that I have in my description, you can try Epidemic Sound out totally for free for 7 days. Epidemic has been my go-to site for years now, which is why I'm so psyched that they decided to sponsor this video so that I could share their awesome product with you. The sad music's coming back in, which means it's time for me to tell you all the things that I don't like about this camera bag. First of all, when you don't have the bag stuffed to capacity with something like a puffer jacket and you're wearing it, you gotta admit it looks kinda silly. I mean, maybe not all the way to stupid, but it's definitely silly. That said, let's be honest, the whole point of this bag is about practicality, not about style. One huge practical letdown for me though is that there are no exterior pockets for holding water bottles or anywhere that you can strap your tripod to the bag. I'm not saying that I could have come up with a way to include these things and retain the collapsible sort of nature and feature of the bag. It's a difficult dilemma, right? But I can see this being an issue and potentially a deal breaker for a good amount of people. And the third issue that I have with the pack is that the camera cube itself, this thing is pretty darn small. I mean, it barely fits my Canon R6, and when it comes to my larger L series glass for the EF mount, I mean, there's not much space in it. This wouldn't be an issue if you're using a smaller camera setup and everything, but I think it's worth noting. Taking those things into consideration, what's this pack worth to you? Well, it retails for $125, which is actually not too bad for something this well made in this niche, in my opinion. The fact is, this cube pack is incredibly specific and unique. So I think $125 for something like this, if it really fits your needs perfectly, is very reasonable. Especially if you love to travel, because for traveling creators, this pack is an absolute godsend. I went to New York City a number of months ago, and all I brought was this big carry-on size camera bag. I was able to fit all of my clothes and everything else in the main compartment, but I also didn't want to pay for an extra bag on the plane or carry around this massive bag with me all day in the city. This is the absolute perfect situation for the cube pack, because I was able to load all of my camera gear inside the cube pack and then just slide that into my carry-on bag and not have to worry about bringing anything else on the plane, and then pull out the camera pack, expand it, and use it as my day bag and leave the big bulky camera bag that's like the size of a carry-on back at the hotel. This is who the cube pack is for. Photographers and creators who love to travel a lot, want to travel light, and need a special solution built specifically for them. Now, if you're looking for something that's built more for everyday carry, I reviewed Pete's everyday bag as well. You should check out that video right up over there.